You have to allow for the impossible to be possible. Wise words from a woman who the world all now knows by her first name alone, Lupita. Lupita is one of the most significant examples of what seems impossible becoming possible I have ever seen in my lifetime. It is not at all surprising that she is one of the phenomenal women we are honoring here today for her work with Mother Health International. I met her briefly several years ago, where she expressed her vision, a vision to bring voices to the world that you rarely hear. When she began to pursue this vision, she applied to grad schools, and my alma mater and her now alma mater, Tisch and Yale, definitively fought over her, both playing quite dirty, with Tisch doing the unprecedented act of offering her a position and full scholarship after only her first audition, and then sending as many African alum as possible to wrangle her to choose our school over that one down there in New Haven. I remember that conversation with her, my attempts to convince her to go to Tisch, meeting respectful and attentive ears. When I asked her what she wanted, she said she wanted to tell stories that aren't told. She mentioned my play in The Continuum about a mother who finds out she's HIV positive. Her goals were concrete. Her plan was concrete. At that moment, I realized both schools needed to let this clearly brilliant young woman make her choice because she knew exactly where she was going, and we all just needed to facilitate where and if needed. She chose Yale. And thank God for that. Her first assignment was to work on my play Eclipsed at Yale Rep as an understudy. There, I learned even more about her. Many had called her luminous, and I saw exactly what that meant. She shared with me her work in Kenya. As young as she was, she'd created a documentary about a woman with albinism, a deeply stigmatized condition in many parts of the world. Her belief that activism goes hand in hand with art was palpable. Her unprecedented rise to become an Academy Award-winning, Broadway-performing cover girl, as well as the first Black ambassador for Lancôme, is not that surprising when I think back to that keen, passionate, deeply intelligent young woman I met years ago. She was clearly designed to break barriers and to set and reset precedents. She saw that her path may seem impossible, but her goals were obtainable. That is the same spirit she brings to Mother Health International. Mother Health International is dedicated to respond and provide relief to pregnant women and children in areas of disaster, war, and extreme poverty. They are committed to reducing maternal, infant, and child mortality rates by creating culturally competent and sustainable birth centers. In an astounding case of synchronicity, Lupita currently plays a character in Eclipsed on Broadway simply named The Girl. That same role she understudied years ago. This girl is dragged into the trenches of war, and though intelligent, keen, and driven, she is transformed by her attempts to navigate the treachery of military conflict. Mother's Health is so significant to the story that Lupita gets up on stage and pours out to Broadway audiences in a passionate, powerful, and heartbreakingly intense performance 8 times a week. Because that story, unfortunately, is not fiction. The plights of women and girls in areas of conflict right now, from Syria to the Congo, from the Sudan to northern Nigeria, are overwhelming. Mothers International meets the needs of those most vulnerable and gives them and their children a chance at a future. Lupita's support of this organization reflects her as a woman of intention, who clearly understands why she is here and the purpose of her power. She believes in the possibilities these vulnerable lives hold and has made a definitive investment in their future. As she stated during her Oscar speech, no matter where you are from, your dreams are valid. Her work reflects that belief, and it reflects it to the benefit of many. Her dedicated commitment to Mother's Health puts her own words to action and beckons and inspires us all.